Alright. Okay. You guys should be able to hear me. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I did some scans. I did the scans for at least the I did Rose as well, but the Virtuosity cast so far that I have drawn did printer scans for them, and let me just say they look way better than anything I could like shoot on my phone, take a picture of on my phone. Cause golly, they look crisp. So let's go through the redrawings, and we got one new character to show off. Let me go to this is why is this so short? I can't we got another drawing to show off as well. So let's open the dragon. Let's hope this I don't know if this will take us through the entire thing, but we'll have to see. I wrote a lot of info on some of these things. I had to go to bed last night. You can see the results of that now. But here's the cleaner version of Aura compared to. I should probably have the phone photos up as well. But let's do the side by side comparison. See this? Welcome to the stream, Daddy. Glad you could make it. This on the right was my phone picture that was taken with some really bad lighting. And then this on the left is the printer scan. Well, plus her gauntlets here covered in wrist guard things. But yeah, the printer scans are fantastic. I don't know why I didn't do this before. But I'm not gonna pull up every old phone photo that I had, but quality. And then here's Amy. The crisp quality, the crispness on her as well. We'll skip the new character. There's Ferris. Took me a few tries to get the. Was for some reason this top part up here. For some reason, like the top half of some of these characters are blurry. I don't know why, but yeah. Here's Men. Here's Millie Vermilion. Here's Zashi. There's like a little smudge here, but this in here. It's all due to the sketchbook. But yo, what up, Nerdy? Yo, long time no see, man. How's everything going? Welcome to the stream. And then here's the new character, Dragon. So he's the strongest of the students at the. It's not really a college, even though all the students are over 18. It's like an academy, I guess, where they train their abilities. He's the strongest of the students, even though he technically has no specific virtue ability. You can tell just by the look on his face, he means serious business. So yeah, I had just colored him this week while like talking to my friends or something. That's normally the best time for me to color. I know, right? It's been a minute, huh? Almost 100 followers, though. Yeah, bro, we're so close. So close. I mean, we met the March goal of 95, but we're close to the 100. Yeah. So yeah, this is the new character, Dragon. I don't think I gave him any. I didn't give him like a backstory or anything yet. I just know I want him to be the strongest character through like training and such. Not the main character, of course, but he's like, I was gonna say underdog. I mean, he kind of is, because unlike the rest of the characters, his virtue ability isn't really specific. Like, he's just able to enhance the normal virtue abilities that everybody gets, but he doesn't have his own separate like virtue ability, like controlling or shooting fire or anything like that. So, but he is the strongest and the most. Well, you wouldn't want to get into hand-to-hand combat with him. Let's just say that. Oh, that was two things off the list. Oh boy, we're gonna have to fill this time. Okay, so group named. I finally named the villains group, and we will. Oh, let's we'll go through the many names that I had or was trying to come up with over the course of since I began planning this thing. I finally freaking named this damn group. Okay, you can see all of these names here on the right. We settled, we had Deadly Assembly, we had Mirage, we had Karma, Gods of Death. Gods of Death is for the beings that work under him, so couldn't use that. Blight, that's the name of like a Batman Beyond villain. I didn't want that. Oversight, which sounds like Overwatch. Fun game, but it's too close. The Virtues, but that might get confusing with the concept of virtue in this world as a whole. So, Cataclysm. I was considering this, but then I had to remember, like, I would probably have to type it over and over, and I failed the first time typing it. And I'm pretty sure my fingers got crossed up when I typed it as well. Like, I had to unknot them. We have the Answers. It's very generic. The Order of the Oracles. Here's where we started to. I like the idea of having order in the name. So we started with the Order of the Oracles, meaning they see what's coming and they want to know what's coming, but that just sounds like power of positivity type thing. Didn't know if that was the greatest for a villain group, but it also sounds like they believe in what they want. The Order of the Unseen was very close to what I wanted. And then the straight up. Let me check on that. I don't know what that was. Alright, so now that we've had the crap scared out of us, we can get back into this. That was like, it was like a basket of like bamboo sticks or something like that up here, and it just fell over for seemingly no reason. It's kind of terrifying. But it looks like the carpet was raised under it. I don't know if it's something to do with many heaters I have going on upstairs right now, but we'll deal with that later. And then I just like the idea of the group being named Ruin for short, but I felt like it should. Yo, what up, Ace? Just dropping by to say what's up. Appreciate that, man. I know you're busy right now. Go ahead and do your thing, but I appreciate you stopping by. But I thought Ruin should probably just be short for something. So like I said, I like the Order of the Unseen, and I liked Ruin, so we just combined the two. So the official villain group name for this shonen is the Order of the Unseen Ruin, and all of the words represent some aspect of what their ultimate goal is, or at least the main guy's goal is, of wiping out the world. There's more to it, but I don't want to get too far into that right now. For sake of spoilers, in case you do want to read it down the line. I'm still looking for a manga artist, but I need to. If I were to get one tomorrow, it wouldn't make sense because the story wouldn't be done, like all the characters and stuff. So I'm taking my time with that. But Order of the Unseen. Unseen is very important here. Ruin is very important here, and it's a group of people. And what sounds spooky when it comes to a group of people? An order, a court, council, any of those. So yeah, Ruin for short. They're not going to be referred to as the Order of the Unseen Ruin constantly throughout the series. I just put that there for all the affiliations for character descriptions, so I don't forget what the full name of the group was. But I'll always remember it's Ruin for short. I'm looking at the capital letters in each. It could stand for hour. I don't know what that would mean, or tour, if you include the T. That sounds less terrifying. But yeah, that's the villain group name. I think I described it here on the left hand side. Yeah. Alright, the Order of the Unseen Ruin. Let me sure you guys can see this here. Even though the assigned trios, each villain in the group is assigned to two other people. So everyone in the group is part of a trio. I don't know how many I'm going to limit it to, like as far as how many trios there are. As many villains as I want to make, I guess. I don't know. Even though they're assigned, even though the assigned trios may not be near each other, they are each supposed to check on each other to make sure they are on track with the plan. So each of them has their own specific job. Some are not that close to others. Some have it easier than others, like Roka and Kokaida. Why is this? Kokaida is the counselor of one of the region's capitals. Or she's counselor of a capital of a region, and Roka doubles as her like bodyguard. On the surface, everybody sees Roka as like Kokaida's right hand, but she's also really there just to kind of check to make sure Kokaida is following Omni-Spec's instructions. So it's kind of spooky in a way. It's kind of like she's being held prisoner. But Kokaida made the decision to join the group in the first place, so it's her own damn fault. And then Vermilion, who sometimes visits the town. Vermilion and Kokaida are in a relationship. Vermilion, we described her, I think, last week. She's like the animal sales person. Just got back, didn't know you've been anime writing. Yeah. This started off as like 3 different series. Nerdy, and then it combined into I combined them all into one because they all had aspects related to each other, and spreading myself across those 3 series was kind of getting to be a lot. Like I would come up with the creative weapon. Creative weapons are a big part of this world, so I would come up with the creative weapon, and then I would have to decide, well, which person could I give this creative weapon to? And a few of those series dealt with people wielding creative weapons, so I was like, no, and none of these are like developed far enough for me to really want to go further with them. So I combined them all, and now it'll be an anime at some point. Manga first. But yeah. What else do we have on the to-do? So that's the villain group. I don't want to give too much away on them. Like I said, for sake of spoilers. We have some new character info that I was writing at like, I don't know, 5, 6 a.m. this morning. Because I needed to have something new for today's stream besides just dragons colored in drawing. Nerdy, that's fun. The most writing I've done is for D&D, DMing gets complicated fast. Yeah, yeah. I was working on a campaign for a world that I made for D&D, and things got complicated fast because you can't predict what your friends are gonna do, right? Like, I mean, but that's also part of the fun in it. Like, we played with Ace Asan here. He wrote a Star Wars campaign, and at one point, I don't know why, but we played a basketball game against like 3 other people. It was me and 2 other people as like characters, and Asan was the DM, and then we played against some NPCs in the game. Don't know why we were playing basketball on the Star Wars campaign on a desert planet, but we won. We won. It all depended on rolls and all of that. It was hilarious. It was a really fun campaign. And I wanted to make a campaign similar to his as well, but that's a whole lot. I gotta prioritize certain things. Yeah, writing a D&D would be fun for me, but like, I mean, all writing's fun for me as long as it's my project. It'd be fun, but that'd just be strictly for fun, just playing with friends. Like, I probably wouldn't stream it or anything like that, and that wouldn't help me financially. So, anime first, and Descended book 2's coming out soon. Wait. But it's fun, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, it was a fun time. The other 2 I played, I wanted to be a Sith because I think Sith are cooler, just design wise, and they have red lightsabers, so that's cool too. The other 2 were boring old Jedi. I had Force lightning and Force choke and all this stuff. I was very much a bad guy. They didn't see it. They didn't think I was very chaotic neutral, even though I did some fatalities on people, Mortal Kombat style. But yeah, playing. I've never played like OG D&D though, like any of the magic, orcs, elves, fantasy stuff. I played only the Star Wars one. And then one before that kind of served as like a test run. It was like the superpowered gem epidemic thing. Like, gems came down and rained from the sky and came down to Earth. When you grab a gem, you get a superpower. So that was like our test run, and one of our other friends who played as a character in Hassan's campaign ran that one. And then we started a Hunter x Hunter one. We didn't finish that one. D&D's fun, man. Using your imagination. I didn't think too much of it at first. What is that emote? I know that's Kappa, but where did you even what? Do I have that? Let me get that. Yeah, D&D. I want to do one for Descended. That's the one I was writing, but I really needed. Oh, that's also where we kind of left off. I needed people. We were supposed to play with 4 people, and I kind of needed them to come up with like superpowers that they could like progress with over the course of time. So say like you would start with manipulating water. Like, say you could go from manipulating water in a sink to water in a bathtub to water from like an outdoor fountain, and then you progress and progress and progress until you could like manipulate the water in like the freaking ocean or something like that. Like, progression was was going to be a huge part of that campaign, or is going. I'm not gonna give up on it, but priorities. So here we have men. Here is on the left. We don't have anything on her just yet. I knew what I wanted her to look like, which is why I have her done, along with some of the other characters like Aura. I don't have much on Aura. I have a bit of a backstory. Dragon's another example. If somebody had a design in mind for, but never came up with the backstory just yet. Um, so she's one of the big bads. She's up there with the biggest bad of the series. And then Neo is the other one. Neo's I have not drawn yet, but he has rubber powers. He's a stretchy man, stretchy boy. Wait, hang on. I can't. How do I move this down? There we go. My first D&D campaign was straight Lord of the Rings. Did Star Wars for a little. My campaign is a mix between fantasy and real colonial lore. What is colonial? What do you mean colonial war? Lore. That's the word. Like when I hear colonial, I think like Quakers and Benjamin Franklin and the 13 colonies. That's what I think colonial. Like real life 1700s Sam Woods trials. Oh, okay. Lord of the Rings and okay. Huh. So how did you mix the two? I mean, I guess it would make sense because both look like they're like, I guess setting wise, both would look like they're like set in the past. So some sort of past, or maybe like if you get real deep, like a distant future where you get rid of all technology and everybody relies on magic instead of technology, because technology is what ruined the world. I don't know. Neo. I get his name from I don't remember what his ex name used. Oh, Morphton. Yeah, that I didn't like that name. Plus, that name would be hard to type over and over again. I get his name from neoprene, or neoprene. I don't know how to pronounce it. Which is some sort of rubber substance, apparently. So I just took out this part of the word. Don't have any semiotics for them. Colors, black, red. Everybody part of this group has black and red somewhere in their color scheme as an homage to a certain other villain group, one of my favorite villain groups ever. Half vest with fur, that's all I have on him, which is why I haven't drawn him. I don't know exactly what I want him to look like just yet, but once I would come up with that would be in their iconography. Alignment, neutral, evil, because bad guy. Don't have a personality for him just yet, but based on his backstory, I have a feeling we'll come up with something very soon. Goals: fulfill every one of Omnispec's desires. I thought I changed that, and I probably will. We don't have to do it now, but yeah, based on his bio, you'll see why. We'll get to the bio in just a second. Occupation: overseer for Ruin. See, when I mentioned I wouldn't have the full group name everywhere. So he's an overseer for Ruin. He makes sure everyone Omnispec has placed throughout the world is doing what they've been assigned to do. Doesn't have a social rank. Affiliation, the Order of the Unseen Ruin. So his class is a self-mutator. Said before, I think last week, that self-mutator is the most common. As far as right now, I thought kinetic would be, because there are a whole bunch of kinetic abilities, but self-mutator, you can get real creative with it. Anything changing your body in some sort of way, your own body. So, rubber physiology, he's a rubbery boy. I don't have move names just yet because I don't exactly know what people with rubber do besides stretch, and it'd be pretty dumb if every time he stretched he would announce a move name. Super extendo. No, I don't want that. I don't have any weapons in mind just yet. I'm thinking of some sort of staff, maybe a staff he can possibly extend and change the not solidity, not density, I guess the elasticity of. So say he can make the staff, straight, it's made out of metal or something, and then he could change it to like his body and like make it rubber and whip it around and do it all this crazy stuff with it, I guess, maybe. And also, like I said, make it extendable as well. Maybe that's just an idea I had for his Smith gift weapon. And here's finally the bio. Oh, and down here before we get to the bio, I only have one accessory in mind. He has a rubber wristband because he can stretch. You get it. And then bio. To be clear, he and Mend, and this is also in Mend's bio, are not Omnispec's bodyguards, but he picked them to be a part of his trio because he values them as individuals. In a way, he's their bodyguard because he wants to keep them alive and he wants to bring them into his new world. His older brother was bullied into committing suicide. For days, he tracked the bullies, trying to see any semblance of regret from them, but he saw none. Eventually, he confronted them, not telling them he was the brother of the person they killed. They made fun of the deceased. He wanted to kill him right then and there, but he knew one of them was the son of town's name, counselor. I didn't give him a town he was from just yet. I don't even know what region I want him to be from. It won't matter, really. As long as it's not Elysian. A lot of people, I'm realizing, are or were from the Elysian region, which is the region that got wiped out, and I want it to be kind of a mystery, so I don't need everybody being from that region. He sought out an assassin for hire that would get the job done, but he hired the wrong one. This assassin used to work for the counselor of this town that he grew up in, and instead he tracked Neo back to his home and attempted to kill him. As Neo lay dying, his brother's death flashed before his eyes. He stood purely powered by hatred and killed the assassin before making his way towards the counselor's son and his group. Omnispec stopped him on the way and told Neo killing the son wouldn't prevent more bully suicides from happening. He could leave the son alive for now and use the rage that kept him alive for a bigger purpose. Neo asked how Omnispec knew any of that, and all Omnispec told him was that he has the same feeling Neo has of the pure hatred for really just humans in general. He fears once he kills his brother's killers, he will lose his purpose. Men helps him through this, which makes them a really good trio. So Omnispec kept them motivated to not go ahead and get revenge right away and use that rage for a bigger purpose. And Men is helping him mentally, I guess, mending his psyche, if you will. And they're all just good villainous pals. To each other, they're great, but like what they want to do is not so great. Killing humans is not a good thing to do. Let's take that as the lesson of the day, if you will. And then, so that was Neo. That's the backstory on the guy we had not drawn yet. But I've had him for a while. He was supposed to be this was back when his name was Morphton. He was supposed to be back in the Disturbed Delinquents series. Remember that? When they were all aliens instead of human, but they were like born with their superpowers, so they were like as close to human as possible without technically being human because they're on a different planet, and also born with random superpowers. Yeah. So I'm glad I finally did something for his backstory. I still don't even have a backstory for the big bad Omnispec just yet. I just have a bit on him. But I know I have to make it, or I'd want it to be pretty complicated. It doesn't even like have to be complicated. I just want him to be justified in going as far as he's going for this. Like some of the villains, like you can see why they're being villainous, but like creating the plan that they're following, like you have to have seen some effed up stuff beforehand. Like, yeah, Yeah, you get it. So he has to have probably the most tragic backstory in the series, if not, well, at least one of the most tragic backstories, because it has to make sense as to why he's so gung ho about killing everybody. We did Vermilion last week when we showed off the Joy. We'll throw her on screen for a second. Now let's throw Mend up in honor of Neo, and then I think I showed some stuff off for Aura before. I said, or I mentioned this before. Yeah. And then I'm looking for, who was it? Oh, it was Desvi. Where is he? Here, the deflecting monk. Oh no, I went past it. Alright, so for some reason, this morning, when I was writing his stuff down, everything came to me all at once, and I completed him, like, as a character. The only thing I don't exactly have is, like, the position I want to draw him in, like the pose I want to draw him in for the sketchbook. I know his colors. Everybody has black and red. It's pretty easy to come up with, but everybody also has like some other third color sometimes. But black and red to rep their rep ruin. Want to be bald because monk. He has monk garb because a monk outfit because he's a monk, and then monk beads because yeah. So I said before, I only came up with the character name last time I talked about him, I believe. But Desviar, I think that's how it's pronounced, means deflect in these two languages. So semiotics, monk, spy, hero, visionary. I think most of this we haven't seen, so I'm going to just go through it all. Alignment, lawful evil. He used to be neutral evil, but with the backstory I gave him, it makes sense for him to be more lawful evil. Because, I would say lawful neutral, but because of what the goal is of Omnispec, there's no way he could be neutral about what they're doing. Excuse me. Personality, quiet, determined, ambitious, and serious. I had the personality in mind. When I have like a really thought out personality, I'll give them more than just 3. I normally always do at least 3 personality traits per character, but when I have like, I can picture what they're saying and all of that, or what they might say in certain situations and stuff, I'll put more than 3 on occasion. Like Zero, for example, he has like freaking 10. His goal, follow Omnispec's plans because he wanted to make a change about the world. We'll get more into that in the bio, as always. Occupation, he's a spy for Ruin. So unlike, what's his face? Unlike Neo, he's not really, Neo is, like I said, he's an overseer. He's not a spy. If he was a spy, he'd be spying on the group. Desvi is a spy, like, for the group. He's not spying on the group. We'll get into it. His political rank is Common Town Guard. That's as high as he goes. And he could go higher if he wants to, but Omnispec needs him here because the Common Town Guards are really unassuming. And we already have somebody who's already a counselor, so it wouldn't make sense for him to also be a counselor of the region he's in. So, affiliation, Order of the Unseen Ruin, and then Auto Ray, which is the capital of the Citadel region. His class, Self-Mutator, I've said this before, ability Deflection, and I give him a move, at least one move so far, because Deflection doesn't require there to be moves if he's just deflecting attacks. Virtue Expulsion lets out a wave of virtue built up from built-up attacks that he reflected. When he reflects attacks, some of the power from an attack he stores. This has no limit, so it can be built up over weeks, months, even years. So he's a pretty dangerous guy. So his weapons, only weapon, is a shield named Zen, which is an Easter egg to a certain character with that nickname. And this shield's ability is a hidden gun. It's not really an ability, it's just part of what it is. Courtesy of the Citadel blacksmith, who's a little bit more advanced brain-wise compared to the other blacksmiths, which is why they have cybernetics in the Citadel region. Courtesy of the Citadel blacksmith, Zen, the name of the shield, has a hidden gun in the center of it that uses his virtue as bullets. In this world, they don't really mess with guns, stuff like that. If somebody were to shoot a gun, it'd be pointless because the virtue shield could just deflect bullets or stop bullets from hurting anybody. So, but when it's your own virtue being used as bullets, depending on how strong you are, them stuffs is gonna hurt. So now let's do his bio, and then once I'm done with him, I have no idea what we're getting into after. Probably do some writing, hopefully. Young Nacho alert. Appreciate you for the alert. Got to do some editing. Got you with the alert. Appreciate you as always, my guy. Good luck with your editing. Alright, so here's the bio. Defected from the monastery. This is all we had in his bio before. And here's what I wrote last night. This morning. After training at the monastery for years, he was eventually able to go off on his own and travel the different towns and regions. Instead of focusing on any good, he noticed all the injustice of the world. He believed the monastery had the power to do something about it. He began to plan out what they could do, what they could first do for their own snow region, which is where the monastery is located. But the monks said it went against what they stood for. They were not to do anything unless it required them to defend themselves. After trying to convince them and realizing they would not change their ways, he defected and wandered the world for a while, changing what he could here and there before he came across Omnispect. He's now a common town guard for Auto-Ray, again the capital of the Citadel region. He spies on the town from the inside. He gets strange looks. Oh, wait, I just skipped over that last part. He spies on the town from the inside, so this is his purpose in being a part of the Citadel region. So they have people in all the regions. He is assigned to the Citadel region. Kokaida, for example, is another example. She is part of the Snow region. It is... Wait, I lost my place. Okay, he gets strange looks because he has no cybernetic enhancements. A lot of the people of the Citadel region do. It might not be because they lost limbs or something like that, but just to have it to show their pride as being a part of their region. But he doesn't have any enhancements, nor does he need any because of his virtue ability. The deflection is very overpowered. Some people have some very overpowered abilities in this show, which is fine. But he's never needed them because of virtue ability. Oh, I just said that. Omnispec chose him for this job because if anything went down there, like anything bad were to happen, like a region attacked the town, and region, like the region as a whole, unprovoked, he could make it out alive or protect it with his ability, whichever the situation required. So yeah, he's pretty much just spying, giving information to Omnispect on what the Citadel region be doing. And if anything were to happen, like say a non-snow region were to attack the Citadel, because like I said, the snow region is under Kokaida's command, who also works on the Omnispec. So if any non-snow region were to attack this region and town unprovoked, Desby would be there to protect it, if necessary, or if it was part of the plan, he would just sneak out. And if anybody tried to stop him, he could just kill him because he's that strong. Plus, his shield has a gun in it, so pretty difficult to stop him. So not only can he deflect your attacks, he has a shield that can deflect your attacks, and he can shoot you with the shield. Pretty strong. And then here's his rule of 3 accessory items, accessory/items. Wrist guards because they look cool, and it's homage to Liu Kang and Kung Lao, who are both monks that be rocking wrist guards. From what I've seen, based on whichever costume you're looking at, but a lot of them do have wrist guards, I believe, or some sort of wristband, something here. Monk guard because he's a monk. This was mentioned in his iconography, and then monk beads because he's a monk. The auto ray guard didn't have him remove them because of religious purposes, so that's why he's able to rock them outside of his thing and just walk around town as a common town guard. Yeah, so that's Desvi. Let's just remove that. And now we come to the part of the show. We have 20 minutes left. Oh, darn. Where we'll have to figure some things out. Let's swap this picture to Amy. Why not? Let me see what I was doing. Okay, we already filled in everything there for him. Really, like I said, all that's left is his drawing and then the scanning of that drawing. Like, all of these drawings have been scanned. It looks, I'm so happy. They look so clean. Look at the quality. You don't get this on the phone. You just don't, unless you have the proper lighting, but I didn't. And it doesn't, like, I've tried to use, like, a flash for it. Don't do that either. It shows, like, all the errors and stuff within the lines that don't do that. Let me see. Who else do I have close to done in my table of contents here? I don't want to go to the teachers. I want to do the teachers off screen because they're spoiler heavy. Pydo. We have some more down here. We have Kindle, Arachna, Jato, Nako, Bleak. I don't have anything in mind for Bleak. I kind of know what I want him to look like. He's going to have a mask, probably gray skin. Because I'm debating on whether I want him to be half blacksmith, like one of the gods of this world. Like, he'd be a demigod. I don't know if I want him to be that just yet. We have the inventor. Don't want to go into that. Let's look at Jato. Okay, so I had Dragon from the Forest region. Actually, let's look into that. Dragon and Pyro. Let's go up to that. So Pyro is supposed to be one of the first people. I think I want him to be the main villain of the first arc of, like, the intro arc of the series. That's another thing. I changed. Ow. I changed around the arcs for this series. So where is it? Here. Yeah. So I'm plotting out. Did I do this last? No, I don't think I showed this off last week. I'm plotting out the intro arc. I was gonna have it originally. I think you guys saw where it just starts off with him rushing to school, and I thought doing it that way would just be an overload of information for this new world that you're not even, like, accustomed to just yet. Because in chapter 1 you get introduced to what virtue is, and then at the end of chapter 1, beginning of chapter 2, you see the other 19 students in the classroom along with the teacher. These are all new characters, and then the teacher immediately gets into a fight with Zero because he's late, to show off more virtue abilities. Then you're also trying to figure out what the hell these kids are, where they're from, why they look like what they look like, and all this stuff. And that's just a whole lot just for chapter 2. So I wanted to spend the intro arc spending time with at least Zero, the teacher, one of the teachers, and some sort of villain to make it feel a little bit smaller, and take my time developing the, or not developing, but explaining the abilities of this world. Like, Zero barely knows, at the beginning, in this intro arc, Zero barely knows what a virtue shield is, and how to use it. So this teacher, Hanea, teaches him how to use it, and, well, we can read some of this here. Actually, I don't want to do that, because this is all still subject to change. I'm not 100% on it just yet. I like where it's headed, but not everybody is there that I want to be there. I think I want all 4 of the main characters to be introduced at some point in this first intro arc, so you have, just so you know who they are. I guess I could stray away from Zero at some point during this arc, but I'm not sure I would want to, because it's the intro arc, and how are you doing the intro arc and you already stray away from the main character? I don't want to do that. So maybe we'll have him meet them somehow before they all eventually meet back up in the school. Excuse me. Or maybe he'll at least just meet Ferris, who is supposed to be his rival, and then he meets Amy and Zashi in the school, because it would be really convenient that he meets all of them before they go to the school. Yeah. A little too convenient. So probably I'll just throw Ferris in there at some point, probably as well. Don't know how just yet, but I think I wanted Pytal to be the first big bad for at least the intro arc. His power is nothing amazing. And plus, I always thought he would be kind of a throwaway villain anyway. I didn't want him to be a part of the main group. Let me see, rank. Let me look at the. I do not have the rank list memorized just yet. See, it's right here. All right. Maybe dropped out Virtueser. I would just say NA. He's probably not even the type to go to school. He's just like the delinquent type. There's not going to be anything, because he's kind of created just to be defeated, so he's not going to have anything crazy. He's not going to have some sort of tragic, complicated backstory. He's just serves to be a foil for Zero. He's not going to be Zero's first fight, but he's going to be the ending fight of the first arc. Because I want there to be some sort of challenge there. And they'll probably have like minimum 2 fights, Zero probably losing the first one and then training to become stronger for the rematch. Class. I didn't give him any like virtue ability. Maybe I make it so it's just his Smith gift. His bat was stolen, so he doesn't have a virtue, because it doesn't have to be complicated from the beginning. So let's say his virtue ability and class isn't unlocked. So he doesn't even know, like, yeah, he can use the base virtue abilities, but he doesn't even know what his normal virtue ability would be. And I'm not going to kill him off, so he could end up coming back at some point, but we don't have to discover that right now. Affiliation, I want him to be a gang member. Do I? Because if I were to make him a gang member, I'm trying to have differences between Descended and this. So if I were to make him a gang member and just have Zero fight this gang member, that would just kind of make it like Lux and Ignitro from the first novel, and I'm not sure I want that. Occupation. say thief. Goals, steal money from those weaker than him. Not necessarily those who can defend themselves, but who can't defend themselves. But anybody he deems weaker than him. Personality, say cocky. Smug. Arrogant. There's not going to be much depth to him. Depth. Colors. I don't have any colors in mind. I don't want to do black. There's a lot of characters wearing black throughout this series, so we're not going to give them black. Semiotics. Thug. Thief. Ne'er-do-well. I don't think this is how you spell it. Maybe it's like a trio of brothers or something. I don't want to make it a gang. But the biggest thing, where I get his name from, Pytal, I know this is not how you pronounce the end of centripetal, but because whenever I look at this word, I don't think piddle, I think Pytal. It's from centripetal though. I just swapped the E out for an I, because that would be pedal otherwise. His weapon, stolen, is the momentum bat, and that's another thing I added, the fact that Smith gifts can be stolen. Where did I write that? I know I wrote that somewhere. Blacksmiths, that's OmniSpec's plan, don't look. These are questions I have to answer here. What are the gods some form of blacksmith? The gods of death. Who is OmniSpec to the blacksmiths? To answer that as well. What is Ciro's motivation? Why does he want to unite the world? This is a simple question I never even thought to answer. I knew what his goal was, to unite the world through not killing. Like, he doesn't want to be too violent about it. He's not trying to kill a whole bunch of people, just whoever he deems necessary to kill, like an anti-hero or anything like that. But he does want to unite the world because power of positivity and all that. But why does he want to do that? We know his backstory with, like, seeing one person show some form of kindness and saving him, rescuing him from the destruction of his hometown. But, like, is that really enough to want to just go on a mission to save the damn world? Perhaps. Maybe. I'll probably I'll add more to it at some point. Okay, I have here weapons. Smith gifts. Weapons are items given to virtuosers by blacksmith. The weapon assigned to a virtuoser can be recalled by the virtuoser, but others can use the items or weapons even if they weren't assigned to them originally. So if somebody, for example, gets clapped and their weapon is stolen, and their weapon is stolen by somebody, like, that weapon is, like, even though whoever stole that weapon, like, can't recall it because it's not originally their weapon, excuse me, the dead person can't recall it because they're dead. So it's just their weapon. I was going to make it at some point that everybody's own Smith gift given to them was kind of just like Thor's hammer. I know they have the recallability of it, but I was also going to make it to where you can't use somebody else's weapon, but that would make it less interesting and less complicated. I didn't want that. So, yeah, Smith gift weapons can be stolen. And Pytal's momentum bat was definitely stolen because he is not the type to have attended school at some point. So he has his weapon, the momentum bat, a bat that gains more power, a bat that gains more stored power for the next attack, the more it's swung around without making contact with anything solid, cannot affect gaseous substances like air, smoke, vapor, etc. Pretty sure I've explained this on the channel before, but that's going to be his weapon. He's not going to have any abilities besides the base virtue abilities as well to make this fight rather simple. Because he and Zero are finna square off. I don't have a bio in mind. There's something I'm missing here. I feel like there's something I'm missing. Or there's just not all that much to add to his character. That's probably what that is. Yeah. I don't think there's a whole lot to add to him. Okay. I just want to scroll back up to ranks. Oh, yeah, I got some new creatures as well. So, this was strange. We had space whales, we had scorpions, finger primates, and that name is most definitely going to change, but that's the only name I thought to give them because it describes exactly what they are. It's a tiny monkey that crawls around your hand and grips right to your fingers. They also wear tiny clothes and hats. I had a strange dream where I had one of these as a pet. He was just like this big and just crawling around my fingers and just gripping it tightly like a koala bear. And he was wearing a black sweater, black pants, he had no shoes, and he had like a black beret. It was adorable. He had like a bright red face. So yeah, those are there now. And we have runners. That name is also subject to change, but I kind of just like the name runners because that's what I've called them since I was little. And they're cheetah-like quadrupeds that I used to draw when I was little, but I would definitely update them. I wish I had an example to show you right now. There's probably a sketchbook I could grab off my bookshelf and show, but I'm not gonna do that right now. But they're herbivores. They're not predators or what's the word? Carnivores. Now that I'm looking at the list, none of these things, maybe besides the scorpions who are omnivores, none of these are really omnivores or carnivores or predators. None of these are really predators. So I'll probably have to add some sort of predator animal at some point. But yeah, little animals and stuff like that expanding the world always excite me. I don't think we added anything else. Oh, we named the academy too. I'm looking at all this stuff. I thought I did nothing over this past week besides what I did this morning. We named the academy Ortamil Academy for Virtue Learning. OAVL. If I switched Academy and Virtue, Ortamil Virtue Academy for Learning or something like that, it would be Oval. Which is OAVL, Oval, it really doesn't matter. If I were to swap it, I like the Ortamil Academy for Virtue Learning because that makes way more sense than the Oval one. But yeah, I completely forgot. I need to name the school that they attend because the school is a big part of it. Also, here's a change. I forgot all this stuff I did. I was like, wait, I know I did something over the past week. I was just spread out with it. I didn't put everything into a new character. Cyril, originally Cyril was supposed to, the plan was for the intro into the school, he was supposed to get ready to go to work. He was allowed to leave early because of Mr. Saeed, who is his boss. Mr. Saeed is still, is the boss. Like, there was no reason to get rid of that side character. But he was originally going to work in a convenience store or a grocery store or whatever, doing mopping and all his chores, and then it's supposed to be time for him to go to school. Mr. Saeed's like, you ready to go to school? And Cyril's like, yeah, I'm ready to go to school. And then Cyril leaves, and he gets caught up because he's trying to stop a mugger from stealing something from this lady. And then, did I describe this already? But Haneo, the virtue teacher of the school, was supposed to be explaining what virtue is, while he's talking, like he has a voice over the fight that's taking place with Ciro, and Ciro is displaying what Haneo is describing. So he'll talk about the virtue shield, and then it cuts back to the fight, and Haneo describes what a virtue shield is, and Ciro is displaying the abilities of what a virtue shield can do. Which I thought was a cool intro, but like I said, after that Ciro would get back to the classroom, and then you just see all these freaking new characters within the first 2 chapters, and be like, oh god, now we got a whole classroom to learn about right off the bat, huh? So instead of working at instead of working at a grocery store, now he works at a library/bookstore, which is slightly more interesting, because I wanted to make music also like a part of his character. Like, he just likes listening to new music and all that, vibing out, because sound waves and shock waves, because that's kind of what his ability is. He likes to listen to music while he's reading or doing whatever. And he also likes to watch nature take in the world that he's a part of. So in the re-intro I have, instead of going down like the main street to go to his work, he takes the scenic route, and you see like the nature and all these creatures and stuff that I just mentioned before, on his way to work, and it's just music over his ears, and he's looking up the sky and taking in everything. And there's no, like, he's not talking, there's nothing like that. He's just, like I said, he's just vibing. So now he works at a bookstore, because reading is good for people. Plus, like, I don't really be doing bookstores like that. Like, I have all of these places, and I thought, what would be one of the most interesting places for him to work, but also, like, believable for this world. Casino, he's not 21. They're all at least 18. Some of them might be 21, the students. Doesn't really matter, but nah. Why a casino? That's kind of loud and stuff. That wouldn't, like, I don't think that would sync up well with the whole headphone listening to music thing. Let's throw them up, because we have them. Wait! Oh no, where is it? Did I forget to... We had this... No, wait, that's the old one. That's the phone photos. I had to rename it. I never renamed it. But, how did we forget to throw out the boy? How did we forget to throw out the boy? Oh, this is another thing. The whole purpose of me rescanning all of them, or just scanning them in the first place and removing them from the phone photos, was because I wanted to color in the things. I didn't want to leave their team symbols, black and white. So they all have gold on the outside, and then the team symbol itself is like a light blue. They all still have their striped hoodies and all that, but you see here the symbols are somewhere on their body. She's a part of Team Earthquake, because this is like 2 land masses, and then the split in the middle. This earthquake is breaking up. This is Team Solar Flare, so this is the sun, and I did my best with, this is like the flare shooting out of the sun. This is the sun here in the corner. This is the flare shooting out of it. And then, you know, all of their medallions, their team symbols have the upside down diamond shape with a circle around it. It's not on Ferris, because I came up with this after the fact, after I had already finished drawing and coloring Ferris. He was the first one I did, so even though Men has this diamond, that's just there. It's kind of like a belt buckle. It's just there. And Vermilion doesn't even have that. But yeah, here's the Team Cyclone one, the spinning one. There's the gold on the outside, blue in the middle, and then the boy's here with the headphones, and you got this hoodie, and just the boy. I can't believe I forgot to pull him up. Alright. Um, yeah, I was looking at this and I thought, what would be the most interesting place to work? Train City train station. Nah, they'll definitely be traveling with the stations and all that at some point, but I didn't want that to be like his place of work. A bank, I could have done a bank, but a bank could get boring really quickly. Like, sports arena, that's loud. Church, I didn't want to introduce him with just religion right off the bat. Parks, bridges, you can't even know. Hospital is not a doctor or nurse. Restaurants, possibly, but that would go along the lines of like working at the grocery store, kind of thing. Like, what would he be? A waiter, maybe a host, but nah. So yeah, he works at a bookstore. He could work in the sewage system, maybe. Nah. But yeah. I thought I would get stuck again like I did last week, but I forgot. I just threw up a bunch of stuff. I'd be writing in my notes. I tell you guys all the time. I just be writing in my notes. Oh no, that's Skype. When I'm supposed to be falling asleep. And can I close this out? Close out. And that's how you just get those random things here and there, and how I also forget where I put anything. But that's why I have it just in the new document, the all superpowers document for like the group descriptions, and then the world building, which is the big boy. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think. What you think about the drawings as well. I know they're not top tier, but compared to the phone photos that I had, these look crisp. They show the quality. I thought it was me, but they show the quality off much better than anything my phone could show before. Like it's like HD and all that. It's crazy. But yeah, I am very tired. I have to record a podcast now. Interior analysis. Look that up. That's the Interior Analysis podcast. I'm co-host on there. We are recording for Sherlock: A Study in Pink, the show on Netflix. Well, first episode is called A Study in Pink. Really good show. I did not think I would like it as much as I did, but well, if you watch the let me rename this. If you watch the podcast, you'll understand what I liked about it. So yeah, I'm on that podcast. Buy the book, buy the first Descendant novel. No, that's over here. That's on Amazon. Like I said before, I just got the edits back for the second book. This week actually, and I'm proud to announce the second book is on its way. Once I have the edits done, all I need is the art, the cover art, and then any art I want to throw on the inside. That's I have an artist for that. So yeah, that'll be done very soon. Very soon. Sorry there was no build up for it, but I don't think I can get it done in time for April 3rd, because if it was ready for April 3rd, that would be like the exact time the first book was released, which would have been cool, but I'm not stressing about it. Just having it done within or just over a year is pretty cool in my opinion. So the second novel, look forward to that, because I keep hyping up the third book. Bro, the third book, it gets crazy. But the second book takes it back a bit. You spend a lot more time with all the characters I've introduced. There's new characters being introduced. You get to know some of the heroes, like at the ending scene where they chase the aliens off from doing the whole invasion thing, and it describes there's like 20 heroes shrouded in silhouette. You learn about those heroes in the second book, so get hyped for that, please. I'm hyped. And yeah, I also have kids' versions of the first book. The third book is also on the way. the drawing should be done, at least the inside drawing should be done by like tomorrow, and then the cover, and then that'll be out at some point within the next week. A lot of people don't know I had the second book released. That's out too. But other than that, that's enough. That's enough plugs for now, and we're over time. I was worried about reaching 9, but we went over. So shout outs to Daddy in the chat, Nerdy as well. Pleasant surprise. The boy Ace was in the chat, showing support, and Young Nacho who had alert. Appreciate y'all watching. We'll be back with some more Batman tomorrow. Some more Arkham stuff. And yeah, I think that's it. And then we'll be finally back with The Last of Us. I really want to finish that because I don't know if there's New Game Plus for that game, but I want that to be a game that I play over and over. Especially if there's a New Game Plus and I can use all my stuff that I upgraded at the beginning of the game. That would be dope. It would be. And then after that, we'd start The Last of Us 2. But yeah, Arkham Asylum tomorrow. I completely forgot where we left off on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll have more, as always, for next week for this writing. And yeah, cool indeed. That's it. All right. Appreciate y'all for stopping by and watching. This is J-Base Phoenix once again. Signing off.